Well, hello friends. Today we are going to do a little more work on the window server and actually together with the taskbar. So when you right click on a window in the taskbar, you get this little menu here that allows you to minimize, unminimize, and close. And the taskbar is currently where these things are made. So let's see how they work because I haven't touched this code for a while. Okay, so in the taskbar button class, we have a context menu event handler, and it just creates a menu and then pops it up at this screen location of the, I guess the screen location of the taskbar button. So what I would like to do instead is make this something that the Windows server or the window manager provides, like and the taskbar would just say, hey, show the window menu at this location. And then we can also use that for when you click on the window icon here. I think that would be pretty cool. And also, close here currently does nothing. So it just says fix me close in the debugger output when you try to close a window. So we can hook that up as well. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is add an API call to the Windows server. So that would be in the Windows Server API types. We need a new type of client message. So here are the Windows Server API client messages. This one would be called something like pop or show window menu at location, perhaps. Should we call it that? Maybe pop-up window menu at location. At least that it matches pop-up menu here. Then we can just call it pop-up window menu. I think that's good. And probably we can use the same basic message layout as the pop-up menu client message. So basically we're just passing a menu ID and the position together with this request. So I think that's what we're going to do. So we're going to, but we're not going to pass a menu ID, we're going to pass a window ID. Okay, so what we'll do here is that we will say oh god, how do we know the window ID here? We have a window identifier, and that has a window ID and a client ID. Okay, so we can do this. So client ID. Oh shit, and actually, pop-up window menu, we should probably consider that a window management message, because window management messages are like messages that can operate on Windows in another, that belong to another process, not just yourself. So taskbar is able to modify windows that don't belong to the taskbar, right? Because it's a window management client of the Windows server. So let's see, identifier, client ID. So this is what we're going to do. Pop-up window menu. But will this make sense? I think we're going to have to, because this is a union here, so we're going to have to put rect here as well. Or I mean the position. But that's okay, we'll just put it here. Because we can't go like using two different structs in the union, because then they'll just write over each other. I mean, these particular values might not overlap, but that would just be a terrible thing to start doing. So I'm not going to adopt that practice. Okay, and then what we want is this for the location. Okay, so I think that's good. And then we're going to want to create these menus in the Windows Server instead. So let's split the view, and I guess the first thing we can do is take care of that message when it comes into the Windows Server, and then we'll figure out what to do from then on. So that would be here, I guess. Oops. Move window to front. Wait, who's using that? Move to front. Terminal. Oh, right. I forgot about that. That's irrelevant for this patch. Let's keep focused. Pop-up window menu. And then for those, we're going to create a pop-up window menu request with the client ID, the window ID, and the position. Okay. And I'm going to make one of these objects for this. This is the object that ends up on the Windows Server event loop. So it's going to be pop-up window menu request. Oops. Pop-up window menu. And we'll put this up here. Oops. Oh, damn, how do I go back? I guess you can't go back to a closed window, or can you? Is there like an unclose? I wish there would be an unclose. Maybe I should follow a bug about that, but not now. Okay. So we just want a position here as well. Position. Okay. Oof. Okay. Cool. And then when we get one of these, let's look at where these are handled. So we're going to need a handle request overload for this. And then we need to dispatch the incoming event to the right place. And finally, hold on. And okay, so we can put it here. We'll just start with this and edit. Okay, so WM API pop-up window menu request. When am I finally gonna do it? Like the last 5 minutes that I spent writing all this boilerplate, every time I do this, I always think I should write a code generator for this, and every time I finish what I'm working on, I forget. So I have to eventually get to doing that sometime. At some point, but not now. Okay, so we don't want to minimize or anything like that. What we instead want to do is window, or who should manage this thing? I guess window manager, the show pop-up window menu for the window at the location. Not the location, let's call it position. Okay, we need to define that function. Just put it, I don't know. Lately I keep putting stuff near the top, so I guess I'm going to do that now too. Where. So for function declarations like this, I don't put the name. I don't name these parameters because I find that to be just, it's like completely obvious from context what these are. Like this is the window that you're popping up, and this is where you're popping it up. It's a really good habit. I think at least I feel like it's a good habit that I picked up from the WebKit project. Okay, so let's see. Let's go and actually implement this. But now that I think about this, maybe we should put this on WS window instead, because then he can also manage the lifetime of his window. So, I mean, not of his menu. So let's do that instead. Pop-up window menu. You can keep the name of it, but do that instead, and like that. And then we'll give him like a little phone footer, WS menu, and window menu. Okay. And in WS window, position. If we don't have a window menu, let's create one. Guess do we have to name these? I always forget. We have to give it a menu ID and a name. Wait, hold on. How do we do this in the... Oh, we just use null footer and -1 here. That's kind of hackish, but okay. Let's do that. I mean, let's not do exactly that, but sort of the same. But for this, we can just put like that, or maybe even the window menu. Wow, beautiful. And then we should add these things to it. Add item, make menu item. Oh man, what do these things contain? I don't remember. Okay, so first off, it's the window menu, and then it's the identifier. So I guess we'll just call it 1. And then we need a text, so we'll do minimize. And everything else, we can just leave it alone. And we're just going to replicate the existing menu, I think, in this patch, and then leave it for future work to actually improve. It's like, it's weird that you have minimize and unminimize at the same time, and you know. So let's just replicate the existing menu right now. And then how the hell do we do this again? There's some callback thing on item activation. Yeah, that's the one we want. So window menu on item activation. I guess we can just do that. We get the item, and then we'll just say switch item identifier. Case 1, set minimized. True. So we're getting the ID here, right? So that's the thing that I'm looking at. So this is a bit ugly with constants, but whatever, it works. I haven't really spent a lot of effort on making the API for creating menus inside the Windows server to be a good API, because 99% of the time you're creating API, or you're using the API for creating menus in the client application. So we could definitely do with some more convenience here, like you could define a callback here and whatever, but right now the callback is on the menu, not the menu item. And then for the third one, we're gonna want, I don't know, what the hell is the close request? Close request. We send it like that. Okay, that's a bit odd, but we will do it like this. Send close request. And window pop up. Here we'll say, oh, send closed request is what I wanted. So right now, window closing is a request that's generated by the Windows server, and then it asks the client application very nicely on its event loop, hey, could you close this window? And if it doesn't comply, we don't do anything. So, you know, it's not really the perfect design yet, but it works at the moment. Should probably have some time out there, and then the Windows server could ask you, like, hey, this thing is not even responding to our close request. Maybe there should be a way to respond to close requests and say, like, I don't want to close, dude. Leave me alone. Anyway, all of those things, not for this patch. So, let's see. Send close request. Let's put it next to this guy. Okay. Send close request. I don't love that name. I'm gonna call it request close. Okay. Because like send is an implementation detail, right? So request close is a slightly better way of putting it. Okay. Right, so now we've created this menu here, but we're not actually showing it anywhere yet. So now that we have the menu, we'll pop it up at position here. And can you imagine if all of this would just work? Wouldn't that be crazy? So this we can get rid of. We don't need the G menu here. We don't actually need this either, I guess. Taskbar button, get rid of you, get rid of you. Cool. Let's see how this will go. So, by the way, usually I put anything that interacts with the WS API, I usually put in libGUI, but here in the taskbar, it's like doing these window management calls, so I just have raw API interaction instead. Maybe in the future I would make some nice wrappers around this stuff and put them in libGUI or in a maybe in the libwm, something like that. But right now you have to make the call manually. So what did we mess up? Oh right, we forgot that we moved that to the window. Then there was this other thing that I wanted to do when you click the icon in the window title bar. So then you would be in the window frame on mouse event. Do we have some icon rect? Yes, we do. Some title bar icon rect on mouse event. So I guess we can do that very, very early, actually. So if title bar icon rect contains event position, pop-up window menu at event. Can you get the screen relative position somehow? Translated. Okay, well, we'll figure that out momentarily, but server and sudo sync and run. Let's just see if we got the taskbar functionality working. Oh, look at that. And it actually does work. You can close now too, which you couldn't before. Very rad. Come back, launcher. Everything's forgiven. Okay. That's very, very cool. Okay. And then if you click here, oh shit! Just for any mouse event, should probably have checked that it was a mouse down, not just a mouse move or anything like that. So let's see. If we are within that one, if event type is let's see. Mouse down and event button is mouse button left. I guess this is how we would do it. Yeah, so we know our own rect. So we just take the event position and translate it by our window frame's rect location. Maybe that's all we need to do, really. Oh shit! But then we still initiate the drag. We gotta stop that from happening. I think we can just swallow the event here. Yeah. This works. I click here, you get that. Very, very cool. Okay. So I think that's basically what I wanted to achieve here. So let's do a patch review. So first thing we're doing is just getting rid of the old code in the taskbar button. Because now we don't do the stuff from the client side, but we just tell the Windows server pop-up window menu at this location. Cool. Then we're just getting rid of more stuff, and then adding here the pop-up window menu message, and adding a position to the window management struct in the client message union. Okay. Here's the handle request for pop-up window menu requests. And it just calls WS window pop-up window menu with the position. Okay. And here we are just doing the API type conversion, blah, 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 blah. Here's the WS API client request object for these requests. More conversion, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and here in WS window pop-up window menu, this is where we instantiate the window menu for a window if it doesn't already have one. So let's see. We just create an unnamed window menu, add these 3 items, and then this is the callback. And we just set minimize true or false, request close, blah, 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 blah. I think that's cool. And then we pop it up at a position. But we don't create it if we already did, so it's a one-time cost. Then we factored out requesting a window to close itself into a separate function, just to make things a little easier. And now every window has a window menu that it owns. Okay, and then here we just use request close instead of manually doing that when you click on the close button in a window. And here, when you left click on the window icon, then we pop up the window menu at the screen location of the cursor, and we swallow the event so we don't continue processing. I think that's pretty good, so we're just going to commit this and say Windows Server plus taskbar. Let Windows Server create manage menus. The window menus, the taskbar now simply asks the Windows Server to pop up a window menu when right-clicking on the taskbar button. Yeah. Dispatch also implements the close menu. And furthermore, makes the window menu show up when you left click a Windows title bar icon. Cool. Let's push that and see it one last time. Okay, that doesn't do anything. That is very, very neat. What happens if I do this? Up, and then up, yeah. Okay. Kind of what I wanted to do. Okay, great. I think that's going to be it for this video. So if you made it this far, then I thank you for watching and for coming back and hanging out with me while I hack. And I will see you next time.